From seriously compromising one's physical health, the COVID-19 pandemic is also impacting people's mental wellness. And joining us now via Zoom with tips on how to cope with stress and anxiety during this pandemic is Rosemary Voudreau, Associate Counseling Psychologist with Jam Psych. Good morning, Rosemary.
Morning, Miss Rose.
Good morning, team. How are you this morning?
Well, I can't
We are
complain.
well,
Give thanks.
thank
Give
you.
thanks. How are you?
I am excellent, thank you. Excellent, good
Fantastic.
to be with you.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Great to see you as always. We've never had anything like this. Why? What happens to the mind because you can't play football? I'm a coach and I keep saying, boy, I miss the football, I miss the boys, I miss the training. What happens to the mind when you're so accustomed to doing things and then all of a sudden, oops, you can't do anything again? What do you need
Right.
to do?
I think the biggest thing that's happening here is the loss of control. We not sure, we've never encountered anything like this, as you say. Suddenly the things that we could choose to do, we can't choose to do anymore. And as a result of that, we're feeling like our lives has kind of just gone away from us and we don't know, when next, what the numbers are going to be. We don't know when a curfew is going to change and suddenly we can't go out anymore. And so that loss of control causes extreme anxiety, and that can lead to other psychological conditions like depression, as you said, and it varies from person to person. So that's what happens. I don't know if you're going to ask me next, what do we do?
No, but I'm going to ask you that. But what is anxiety? When you get anxious, what does that mean?
Well, it's just that feeling that life is, anxiety, of course, is a defined psychological condition, but just general anxiety means that it really means that you're not sure what's going to happen next. Some people have a feeling fluttering in their chest, they're different, sweaty palms, people start to worry, they're unable to sleep. You see the lady there holding her chest, you can have increased heart rate. There are a number of symptoms of anxiety, the whole syndrome, panic attacks, as you have that here. So okay, you have everything that I have there.
Yeah.
So that whole syndrome is just that main thing is that you are not in control.
Okay.
You don't know what's going to happen next.
That's what I was going to ask as well, Rosemary. Because it's okay to be concerned at a time like this. In fact, being concerned is probably what's going to ensure that you don't contract COVID. But when do you know that, okay, now I've crossed the line from being concerned to being anxious and I'm stressing out myself
Right.
now?
Right. It's an excellent question. So being concerned means that you're aware of possibilities, you're aware of the dangers, and you also make yourself aware of what you can do to reduce your chances. And specifically with COVID, since we're talking about COVID-related anxiety, reduce your chances of contracting the illness or, and now we're learning, of getting a more severe form of the illness. So concern is being aware of the facts and knowing what you can do and applying that. Anxiety is just that constant feeling of fear, all those physical and emotional symptoms we talk about, and doing nothing. And, the loss in quality of life, there's no fun in life because you're constantly in this fear, you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, you're not functioning. That's when you've crossed over to anxiety.
All right, so you're going to help us now. Give us some tips on how to manage anxiety.
Okay.
I
The
see
first
here.
thing is to focus on what you can control. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
Right. Focus on what you can control, okay? And the most basic thing you can control is wear your mask, watch your distance, wash your hands. Somehow we haven't got those basic things. Remember that the virus cannot jump. It's not carried. There's no carrier. It is in the air, but it doesn't really jump from person to person. So you can control how you bring it into yourself. And that's the first thing we can control. So even now going out and that distance, the mask is not a be all and end all. Science has shown over the months that we've had this, that we can reduce that transmission by over 90%. Basic, right? Then you can control your intake of information. The social media frenzy has started again. You know, the lockdown is coming. I understand that PriceSmart's line ad there was all the way to the back of the store because everybody is buying up for this lockdown. Where did that news come from? Social media. Somebody regurgitated something. We saw that when the pandemic started, everybody had just come from a meeting or knew somebody who had come from a meeting that the country was going to lock down totally. Did not happen because that's not the path that was taken by our government. So control your intake. The remedies, the conspiracy theories. Try and make sure that that your sources of information are credible, not your social media friends, not your WhatsApp groups. Then you can also control your physical immunity, because the science is now showing that if your immunity is strong, even if you do get the virus, as many of us will, then it's less morbid. So you have less, severe symptoms of the virus and effects in your body. So sleep, I call it sleep, eat, exercise, and take your medication if you have a chronic illness. If you have diabetes or any of those autoimmune illnesses for which you're on medication, take your medication and take it faithfully and follow your regime. And then build your emotional immunity. Neville mentioned not being able to play football. So a lot of the things we like to do, we can't do anymore. So what do? Find ways to relax. If I have time, I do a little deep breathing with you at the end of this segment. But relax. Find ways to keep your support group going. Don't isolate yourself. Stay in touch with your friends. Talk to them on video so you can see each other's eyes, not just on the phone. But be intentional about making sure that you feel supported and build that love. Reach out to somebody. When we reach out to other people, we always end up feeling better. Reach out to somebody, an older person you haven't spoken to in a while. Call him up. How are you doing? You doing all right? Anything I can do to help? And give thanks. Depression cannot live in an attitude of gratitude. So just remember that.
We're almost out of time, Rosemary. So I know you have, do not surrender your life to COVID-19.
Right, meaning that, this is not the end of the world. So you may have to pursue your dreams another way, but continue. And I really want to say, seek professional help. For some persons, these tips are not enough. You may need help, and that's why God made us psychologists. And I also want to just remind persons, JamPsych, we did a series of webinars for persons on the front line to cope with anxiety. Series of 6 where we formed groups and people could come in and we help them. We're doing it again because we understand our medical workers especially are very, very anxious at this time. And so we're again forming those groups, and we'll be advertising them on our social media pages so that you can join and you can get some very individualized, because it's small groups, attention to help with your stress and anxiety in this time. And people breathe. Take a deep breath with me.
Always good to see you. Stay safe.
Good to see you guys. Stay safe.
All right.
Bye.
Rosemary Woodrow, Associate Counseling Psychologist with JamPsych. 10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday.